some of the Lagom wines here. We're going to do the 2017 Duvarita Pinot Noir.
Yep, we're here in the tasting room at Torin.
Beautiful day. Spring is officially here. The lupins, we can smell those like crazy. We're coming in from behind us. It's warm. It's like 90 degrees.
It's really warm.
I just want to thank David and Nikki. This whole thing, you know, when you guys watch these, there's like hours of editing to actually make us somewhat coherent, you know, by the time you put all this stuff together to make it come across. So David's done a great job keeping us in front of you guys and help sharing, you know, the wines and the word and all that stuff. And Nikki with all the customer service and shipping with all of everything that's been going on. She's been doing a great job. So you've probably been interacting with her. So through all the, you know, craziness going on right now, they're holding down the fort. And thanks to her, Viquel here, for keeping all this together and keeping us sane. So anyway, so cheers to all you guys.
We're barely sane, but cheers. All right, so 2017 Lagom Duvarita Vineyard.
Yeah, it's pretty. Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Instantly. So we backtrack a little bit each time we do these things just to let some newcomers in on where the vineyard sourcing is. So Duvarita Vineyard is technically outside of the Santa Rita Hills AVA. It's literally like right outside, you know, within feet, literally. So as you go, what is that, 246? As you head towards Lompoc from Buellton and you start heading west, you can just watch the temperature gauge in the car drop. And by the time you get from, say, 101 to the time you hit Duvarita, on average, you probably drop somewhere between 7 and 9 degrees whenever I go there to look at fruit. So it's pretty cool and incredibly sandy, like unbelievably sandy. Like I've never gotten fruit from a vineyard that sandy before. It's like walking on the beach. It's pretty wild. But the result is this incredible aromatic presence. So instantly, right when I pour this is like the first thing that, you know, jumps out of the glass aromatically. The wine is incredible. It definitely has that true Pinot, you know, varietal, that kind of earthy underlying. And I say this a lot. It's almost like compost, but I don't mean the compost in a bad way. It's like once it's already done its thing, it smells like fresh dirt and you know, really good, inviting smell, really pretty. Along with some darker fruit profiles and some smokiness and gaminess and savoriness. There's some salinity. It's pretty wild.
Well, I would almost say like a touch of like tobacco to me in that. Yeah.
So we use a few different clones for this. When we started getting Duvarita fruit, we took 4 half-acre blocks. So all of the grapes that we source, we do by the acre. So we control a lot of the farming interest, you know, how it's grown, make sure that we get the fruit that we're looking for. So we took clone 115, 777, 4, and 2A. But kind of what has risen to the top for us predominantly has been clone 4 and clone 777. So we do select individual barrels to go ahead and make these wines. And for this vintage, it's predominantly the 777, the clone 4, with a little bit of the 2A in there.
And so this is just one of the 4 Pinots we make, just to kind of remind everybody. So we've got Duvarita Vineyard, Solomon Hills Vineyard, and Vietnamcito Vineyard. And then our 4th wine that we're going to try will be the In Toto, which actually blends all the vineyards together. But this is our Duvarita.
You know, we come back and a lot of times we talk about the texture of the wines. The texture on this wine is always incredibly rich and silky and luxurious. It's, again, kind of with the sand versus what we get like out of limestone soil. Maybe it's not quite as low of pH, so it's not quite as acidic. It's very soft, but it has plenty of acidity to hold it through and give it balance and make it age-worthy and all the things you're looking for. But it's really got this kind of soft, silky mid palate that's, you know, pretty fantastic.
So what are we going to enjoy this with? You know, by itself, like we usually drink wine?
We kind of came up with this strategy. We tried to make bottles of wine last 2 days at home. But I tell you, whenever one of these gets open, for whatever reason, these Lagom wines,
they're gone.
They're gone.
In like an hour and a half, it seems like.
They're just, you know, they're really, they're complex and interesting, and they have all these, you know, layers and all these beautiful things going on, but they're just so like easy and inviting and beautiful. And even at 17, you know, or the 17 vintage with, you know, a lot of the Torin wines, for example, need a little bit more time in the cellar or, you know, in a glass for a while. And this thing's good right out of the bottle, and, you know, before you know it, it's gone. So.
Right. So, I mean, would you say there's a big difference between the 16 vintage and the 17 vintage of the Duvarita Vineyard?
I think so. Yeah, I think 17 again is just a little bit more approachable right now. I think that now if you go back and try the 16s, they've got a little bit more time in bottle. Some of those characteristics have had time to come together.
Right, yeah.
And I would say that the 16 today is probably a little more intense of a wine. I think 17 is a little easier, but I think that this will continue to age beautifully. And I think a lot of those characteristics as they come together will continue in that path. But if you open this today, you're definitely not going to be disappointed. So.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
You know, fish always goes really well, like a good salmon. But I mean, and cheese and cracker, you know, I mean,
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that this is a great wine to have on hand because it actually can go with almost everything, whether it's barbecue or fish or,
Yeah.
It's great.
I agree. All right.
All right, well, thank you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section and we'll do our best to get back to you, Scott, or myself, or David, or Nikki. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care.